Okay, take two. I never really do two takes, but I had to do a second take because the first video kind of, went off the rails. Like started going on about whatever else. So, yeah. So the issue of religion and reformation or apostasy, or dare I say atheism, um, it's a tough call to make. I mean, on a practical level, you want reformation because reformation is easier. It's mostly done by people that are already embedded in religious communities. And I'm kind of referring specifically to Islam, although it could be said about basically every religion. But reformation is definitely the easier path to take. Not easier in the sense of less work, but easier in the sense of less resistance, maybe. There are people embedded in religious communities that are trusted by religious people. They're trusted by other clerics, and they if they to put forth a Reformation agenda would be easier in a sense because there's a certain amount of trust that's within the community and held by by clerics and other reformers and stuff like that. Um, so the practicality is just seems the practicality just seems better in the sense of reformation. And I always keep using that line that Majid Dewan says. You can't expect everybody to reform overnight. Like it just doesn't happen. Like you can't expect that 1.6 billion Muslims are going to suddenly apostatize. Reformation seems to be the easiest kind of thing to do. And along with the easiest thing to do kind of means the more practical thing to do. Um, so I don't know. I mean, you do end up with these extreme cases, though. I mean, like with terrorist groups and fundamentalist groups, extremist groups. These, like, I mean, those groups are kind of almost automatically closed off to reformation, and those are the most dangerous people alive, basically. Um, so I don't know how practical reformation is in that sense. Um, by the time somebody's radicalized, I mean, you're dealing with somebody who's pretty much rooted into fundamentalist readings of holy doctrine, and Reformation seems almost like blasphemy to them, or which is punishable by death, right? Obviously, in their own in their worlds, etc., etc. So Reformation may not be something that's so easy in certain contexts, but again, even much more so with apostasy. I mean, there's, I forget the name of the guy who does these anti-radicalization program things in Toronto, but he helped take down the Toronto 18. But he was talking about, I think it was him, so don't quote me on it, but Mubin something, I forget his name, but I think it was him on the agenda that said that you'll never really ever get full when it comes to radicalization. You'll never actually really get full rehabilitation. Like there's always that religious aspect that sticks in there, and it's really tough to get that religiosity out of people who have been radicalized because it's so. I guess my guess is because it's so psychologically embedded. Like it's so into your psychology that you never really get rid of it. But I think apostasy is actually a better goal. I think excuse me, when I say a better goal, I don't mean I don't necessarily mean something that can be swapped out with Reformation or what I'm trying to say is I don't think you can compare the two. I think apostasy is actually, when I say better, I think apostasy is what we should be aiming for, and Reformation should be seen as a roadmap to apostasy, or a roadmap to doubt, instilling doubt, as Sarah Hayter would say, in religious communities and in religious mindsets. So I think there's something to be played around with there. but I'm not sure how to proceed. I guess I just keep watching more lectures from Sarah Hayter and from Majid Nawaz and from Sam Harris and from people like Armin Navabi and and the other secular jihadists from the Middle East. Um, I mean, I know what their stances are, but I mean, I guess I have to get into the details of how each kind of you know sends its message or gets its brand across. Um, and I hate to call it brand. I mean, it's not a very superficial thing on either side of the argument. Um, and I think we could all agree on that. I mean, the one thing that makes religion so heavy weighted is its depth. To for lack of a better word, it's reaches, right? Anyway, that's all I gotta say. There's not a whole lot else I want to say. Um, you know, I gotta do more reading. I got to I'm probably going to buy a new book soon, and it's probably going to be Free Will by Sam Harris. I keep mentioning Sam Harris in a lot of my posts and in videos and stuff like that, but I honestly I've never read a lot of him. Like I've read 2 books of his, and that's it. Um, but I'm finally going to get to. I think I'm finally going to end up purchasing Free Will, and probably delve deeper into the compatibilist argument and see how that goes. Anyway, that's all for now. Bye.